Right. Okay. So what exactly we are having today is design thinking and innovation through prototyping and testing. So here I'll be mainly speaking about my experiences from my biomedical laboratory experiences from all these years. I thank AICT Atal for providing an excellent interdisciplinary platform, which will eventually give us opportunity to discuss in this August gathering. So going to the this thing that innovation is the sole driving force that propels the society towards its superior form, isn't it? So design thinking initially has been proposed as a tool for management people in order to um, discuss and find out solutions for existing problems that were there in the industry. But later on, it has been seen that the scopes are huge, and therefore it has been embraced in a much wider way. And everybody, including academicians, have understood the value of design thinking. So when we are talking about design thinking, it essentially talks about the approach of a problem solving. Now, these problems could be existing problems, or else, if you are very good at it, you can even create a problem and then find a solution for it. So both are possible. Once it serves the purpose of the people, you are having a very good product for yourself and even for your startup or kind of thing. Now these things are much in demand these days. The overall objective of whole of this exercise is for teachers, since all of us, including the presenter, organizers, even the participants are also teachers of technical colleges, then it becomes very much relevant to. अच्छा, coordinator madam, am I coordinator madam, am I audible clearly?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Okay then. So what you do is you make a mute for everyone besides me, so that there are no interference. So this was the thing, because all the participants and everybody are teachers, so we should have an idea that why exactly we are talking about it. No, for last 4 days you have already been discussed a lot about it. The main reason behind that, we are all discussing about design thinking process, prototyping and so on, in order to make our job seeking graduates into your what, job creating graduates, isn't it? So that is the ultimate goal of all the teachers, to convert your students. To convert your job seeking students into job creating students, so that they can find out some extraordinary solutions for some existing problems, and therefore they can generate value in some term, in some form, and then eventually they'll do some kind of business out of it. That was the overall objective. So it has also been seen some in previous years that it has been said that Asian people are not very good at innovation, which is completely wrong. Because what has happened, due to some kind of specific information that were coming out, it showed the Asian people that they are good at reverse engineering. They'll open some device, and then without any prototyping, nothing, they'll just copy it simply by reverse engineering, and then they are not very good at innovation, but they are very good at copying, which is completely wrong. And in from my experience, I'd say that exceptional kind of innovation has been derived from this region, Asiatic region, where now even in India there has been excellent organizations who are very much devoted to kind of producing world class products, services, and so on. So what is the this thing, the process of the whole exercise? This also you must have had already so much of discussion on these topics. according to Stanford Design Schools, the steps which will lead you to design something new, something innovative. The steps are like this: empathize, where you are going to talk to a lot of people and gather some kind of anticipation of the people. So in the first step in empathize, what you do is you talk to people and then try to figure out what exactly these people need, and eventually you try to define the problem. Now from here, the things in writing starts. So you define, start.
सर्टिफिकेट आपका आ गया?
अरे वो एक फर्स्ट वीक का है, वही मैं बोल रहा हूँ।
हाँ, तो आगे फिर से रजिस्टर करना पड़ेगा।
ओके,
Okay, I hope so. So ideate. Ideate means you are doing some kind of brainstorming, so that to understand or find out which kind of technology is needed to solve this existing problem that you have defined in the previous step. Okay. So in this case, there are 2-3 things that I would like to mention. Now, Japanese people, they'll do 4 kind of ideate. What these people will do is there are 4 steps in the way they do. They'll try to repackage the existing thing and then try to sell it. So this is also one kind of prototyping or kind of ideating. So one more thing is they'll add some more value to it and eventually try to do some kind of additional things. So let me give you one example for that. For example, you have bought which is giving you more value, isn't it? This thing also is possible. One more thing is, which is the most difficult part of ideation, is to completely rebuild from scratch by incorporating a completely new technology. So I'll discuss it a little later, while I'll be sharing with you about my experiences that I had. So eventually the next step is prototyping, where you will generate some kind of model and thing like that, and then try to scale it up. But before scaling it up, you will play with the prototype and you will see how much good and bad it is. You will again talk to the people whom you have empathized already and try to figure out whether this thing is working or not. And eventually you will do some testing. So prototyping here, according to this model, it is only making a smaller version of it. So many a time it may not be the thing. It may be the complete producing the complete thing altogether. From everything, from packaging and everything else you do, and then it could also be a prototype. But for many cases, a prototyping can be a small thing, and later on the testing. Now this testing phase comes in many different what do you call aspects. So which kind of product is that? On the basis of that, you will be testing it. Let me give you some example. For example, let's say that in my lab we designed a particular kind of technology application which will help you to find out what will happen if a disease causing organism changes its shape. Okay, so in that case testing could be done in house, or testing can also be done out with some of your peers. So peers may also able to test it, but sometimes what happens is it may disclose the invention itself. For example, what are the hidden things are there, it may also disclose. So you should be very careful while putting it to test. So it's always better that you talk to layman for your testing thing. You give them a little training. For in my case, let me tell you, we designed a kind of application which used to find out the impact of a mutation. Okay, it is again a completely biomedical terminology. But due to the pandemic, everybody knows about it. Now, mutation is something which changes the nature of a living organism. Okay. Let me give you one more example so that it becomes very much relevant to you all. For example, there was a COVID virus which was been discovered in Wuhan, in China at a certain point of time in 2019. Eventually, we are having one more variety which is called Omicron. So it is completely different from COVID in many aspects. But the core thing is same. The genomic material is same, but there has been rapid differences also. And therefore, what is the outcome? Outcome is that the existing vaccine will no longer be effective with this particular strain. Okay, so this is called a mutation. So we are having a what we call innovation in our lab, which helps us to find out not in a large scale like this virus, but in smaller molecules like small proteins. Okay, so I will not discuss it in much way. So in this case, what has happened? If we study exactly our PRs, what happens is the some point you are having some risk of getting diluted of your intellectual property. In this case, what you do is you will talk to people, even train them how to use these kind of devices, and later on you tell them to see whether it is good or bad. Madam, I am audible, right?
Yes, sir.
So what happens is there are pros and cons. What happens? Let me tell you one more time. That when you are talking about design thinking, we are essentially talking about some kind of product, some kind of service which is unique. It is not a literature or it is not a what do you call is scientific report that you are about to publish. So when you are publishing something, you are opening to everyone and showing your technology. There is no harm in that. You are publishing a paper. But when we are talking about design thinking in a classical way, you are essentially talking about some kind of product or service. So there is always a risk of what do you call is kind of intellectual property dissolution. I would not say theft, isn't it? So you are sharing some intellectual property for which you have not yet granted any copyright. So you would not like to do that. So eventually what you will do is you will train some person who have something to do with your product. Okay, not directly. For example, I can train doctors. They are not scientists even, but they have some idea what the product is. I'm telling you very real personal experience of mine. I'll not talk it to those hardcore scientists who are already working on, isn't it? So testing is also a very important thing in this whole process, and it may happen that while testing you should be a little careful. Okay, but one more important thing is if you are getting very good feedback, this is also very much important. It will help you a lot to what do you call is to find out what are the ways you can improve your product. But trust me, if you share your discovery to many people, then you will definitely get all the correct feedbacks that you can anticipate from a very big expert. For example, in our case, our methodology was such that there are plenty of organizations working already on it. Okay. There are some competing interest also. Some other organizations are having similar tool, but not exactly the way we are doing it. So we have not told those companies to see and test our product. We have told it to doctors and so on, isn't it? And we have gathered sufficient information, sufficient feedback. So the testing part, Madam Coordinator has told me to talk more about testing and prototyping, I guess. So that was the experience. Later on, I shall talk a little more on this. So one more thing is that on in terms of design thinking, the desirability, feasibility, and viability of your product should also be done. So for that, what you can do is, let me tell you one more thing, that overall objective of this outreach, this thing, was mainly to collaborate with similar kind of labs, those who are very good at computer science, many a times mechanical, those things we require in our lab also. So we belong to a very small institute, but we are trying to explore all opportunities available within our limited means to really add some value in existing knowledge that we are having. Okay. So while doing so, our one of the objective remains to collaborate with similar kinds of labs. It may not be a hi-fi this thing lab, but we are definitely looking forward to it. So what happens is during design thinking, these things are also very important. Desirability should be there. There should be an existing market. I'm very sure that you have already discussed all these things in previous sessions also. And these things are very important in many aspects. So one more thing is this design thinking encompasses concept development, creativity, prototyping, experimentation. These are inherent to all kinds of things, all kinds of intellectual property. When you are writing some paper also, you should be very much careful that there are sufficient amount of creativity, sufficient amount of prototyping also. If it is not a product also, but there should be some prototyping thing also there, isn't it? So these are some philosophy of design thinking. Okay. So IDEO is a concept where they are talking about inspiration, ideation, and implementation. Okay, now it is a bit different from Stanford Design School, which calls, as I have said, empathy, define, ideate, prototype, and test. So this particular definition is very, very common, and in our case also, this has sufficient relevance. This thing, and IBM, which is again a very innovative organization, they are talking about understand, explore, prototype, and evaluate. Much more straightforward, but very, very relevant also. These are some philosophies of design thinking. But today, the thing that I wanted to discuss was also the thing how it is relevant to teachers. So in my discussion today, I would also like to tell that why it has become important, why Madam has taken this particular topic, why this has been included in the syllabus also. The overall objective is to enhance design thinking, the whole to impart the whole kind of thinking process to our teachers as well as our students, isn't it? So what happens is today is an objective or outcome based education system is this thing, isn't it? So everybody, all institutes are about to stick to certain kind of guidelines where your curriculum should be designed in such a way that it becomes more relevant to the industry, as well as your students become more and more and as well as innovators, not only just learning some skills and then becoming employees of some other organization. The anticipation is that you will produce students who are innovators all by themselves. So why it is exactly necessary? Because it has been incorporated to our syllabus as well. Now, according to Bloom's taxonomy, if you see, the top layer belongs to these things: analyzing, evaluating, creating. Okay. Now these top things are based on some fundamentals. Now fundamentals are remembering, understanding, applying. Okay. Now these fundamentals that we are already practicing it through our existing curriculums. We are we are giving task to students to remember so that they can also sharpen their memory, and then we are anticipating to make them understand certain concepts, and then we are also encouraging them to applying those concepts in theory. But now we have to put it in practice so that our students try to explore more and try to create some solution. So before creating a solution, finding out the problem itself is the job half done. If you can really find some good problem, your job is half done, isn't it? So if you can really understand that what are the existing problems are, then eventually you can do some brainstorming, collaborate, and do things so that you can come up with some kind of idea. It may not be feasible many a times, but for a project purpose, it becomes feasible, isn't it? So we must this thing that we must encourage people to create. So so how exactly we will examine that whether our curriculum is sufficient so that we are able to incorporate the creating aspect to our students. So for that we need to have some very good projects. These are the common projects that we can handle: course projects, mini projects, minor projects, and capstone projects. So many a time it has been seen that projects becomes a very usual thing. People will go somewhere, do some kind of literature review, and they'll say that it is a kind of project. So we have to come out of this kind of thinking process. And I'm very much sure all the labs are trying to explore these things as we are also doing. So what exactly happens is the project thing becomes something which should have some relevance. So which kind of relevance they are asking? Okay, so these relevance should be relevant to your community, relevant to the industry, and so many other things are also there, mainly to the community as well as to the industry. This kind of relevance should be there in the project. It may not be any term which you do some kind of this thing and then come up with some project report. The days has gone. So who will be this thing with the responsibility? The responsibility lies on the teachers, isn't it? So people like us, me and you, have to ensure that students are sufficiently ideating. So what happens is this is a part of the SAR that all technical colleges, institutes, I guess even autonomous universities are supposed to take some kind of this thing from the accreditation council by making some certain changes in their curriculum. So in this particular point, they have talked about some vision mission kind of thing. So in that, what happens is they are talking more and more about the stakeholders. So why this is relevant about the stakeholders? Because they will give you some real feedback. Understood? So what happens is the first step comes from the stakeholders in your institute. So which kind of project should be there will be told by the community. That is the stakeholder. That is nothing but the parents, the community, the other associated people who are associated with the college. They will tell you which kind of project you should do. So what happens is the first step, if you remember the model, Stanford Design School, they said about empathize. So empathizing becomes more this thing. You need not to go outside and have to do a large scale survey to find out what is the problem. These people automatically will give you feedbacks, isn't it? So these are the people who can essentially give you feedbacks in a academical this thing. When you are talking about an institute, I belong to an institute, you belong to an institute. So it may not be always relevant to go to the market and talk to people. Many a times it happens. You arrange some kind of survey with just a particular community, a village, or things like that. That usually we do. But here also there are some feedbacks. A very important and very good feedback you will get from parents, from local people, from the community in nearby villages, isn't it? So they can also tell you which kind of projects you should do, and then eventually you will prototype and then test, and then ideate, and then do the next couple of things. So what happens is in your vision mission kind of thing, it should be written. But it is something that it becomes relevant that which kind of projects you are doing, which kind of innovation you are doing. It is not something, for example, there is an engineering college and you are ideating something which is very, very distant. So there is no harm become futuristic, but there should be some this thing. Sometime it may happen that you are so futuristic that you could not develop a prototype even. So iska to koi matlab nahi hua, isn't it? So this is also a very important point. I think it is entirely my this thing. You may not be very much this thing inclined to this kind of this thing. That how can you are saying that the parents can also be the people who will give you some idea for your ideation, but it has happened and it is possible also with very minimum cost. कहीं पे जाने का जरूरत नहीं है, अपने आप feedback आ जाएगा and accordingly you try to solve problems. So okay, this is again a bit different. So these are the things that we should talk, and we should harness many resources also. So the content beyond syllabus, this is also very important. So many a times what happens is, in my case, let me tell you, ours is a biomedical lab. We are talking about this living organisms, disease, mostly various kinds of disease. But it has been seen that our some information that we gathered over the years in computer science, in some amount of electrical engineering, those has given us an edge. So what we are trying to say is here that an interdisciplinary approach, what you teach and how you teach, also becomes relevant. For example, if you are thinking very classically, it can also happen that many a times your ideation becomes limited to certain areas only. So this is also important. In our experience also, it has been seen when we embraced artificial intelligence and machine learning, some point for our biomedical lab, so we there was a blast of ideas and many other things. So what has happened is this is also becomes relevant content beyond syllabus. And there are some other this thing also, what do you call, documentation purpose also. What happens is if you maintain this kind of documents also by some kind of outreach. For example, this is an outreach activity for me. This is an outreach for the participant who is also a teacher but participating in this discussion today, isn't it? So these are also avenues from where we can also gather some kind of then there are what do you call is some new technologies that you are harnessing. So this is also there, so that it becomes this thing relevant for your innovation. But there should be sufficient this thing also, resources also, so that you can able to domain. But I'm very much sure that this thing has happened to many other fraternity as well. So in our study, that means in our lab, we used to teach concepts of drug interaction, how diseases are handled in this way. These are some board works and usual things that we do in the class. Okay, so but today what has happened? We have to embrace new technologies for teaching these things only. The same thing we are teaching, we are teaching in a different way. So we'll do a little hands-on where we'll learn about 2-3 things. One, how new technologies should be harnessed for new age teaching learning, and then how we can also do some kind of ideation for in these at that particular edutech domain also. So there are 2-3 things I wanted to share. So these are the things where we used to talk about diagnosis of diseases. This is a particular case of cancer, but many diagnostic things we needed to at first tell them in theory by some board work, some note, and later on we'll do in lab. But today what we are doing is we are simulating many things. So there are less dependence, because for last couple of 1.5 years, 2 years, we used to had all our learning through a remote mode. So at that remote mode, we were also had the this thing what they call compulsion to give them some kind of hands-on, isn't it? For computer science, it is very easy, but for biomedical sciences, it becomes very difficult to simulate some kind of real experience, not only showing a video. Okay, for somebody is using some biomedical instrument, like let me give you somebody is taking an ECG. What usually before the lockdown we used to do, we used to really take the reading of ECG and teach our students how to take ECG reading. But later on, there was no scope. So we had only one tool, that is share some video and tell them what are the steps, this and that. But we wanted something more than that, so that you can really simulate some real process and then tell them what exactly is going on there, so that they can also put their brain. When you are looking at a video, a usual step-by-step experiment, it may not be so innovative. But if you are doing a real-time experiment of biomedical technology using computer science, so many a times it becomes very encouraging. So we have seen in our case also, for example, we will do a little hands-on today, where we will be simulating cancer diagnostics by using computer science. Okay, and that also we'll talk about design thinking process, that how these people did that design by using existing technology on. Okay, so we would also like to talk about these things. Now these are called the blending classroom kind of thing, where we are also showing some video, but you are doing some experiment also at the real time, not only just simply showing the video. Understood? So in order to understand that, computer science people will have very good understanding of this thing, that on which kind of technology that teaching learning process is based, that we'll do a hands-on session today. If you are interested, you can also participate. Now, in that case, these people have done a cancer diagnosis by image informatics, by some kind of image processing. Where they have done is they have really taken a tissue, made it into a biopsy, and then observed the particular slide of the biopsy for a particular patient in a prolonged period of time. After some time, they used to take the photographs of a particular biopsy sample, and then eventually they designed a very good algorithm by incorporating convolutional neural network, so that they can able to back propagate and predict how long a patient will survive if that patient is having this kind of brain tumor. Understood? So they did an excellent computer science to build that predicting tool by incorporating many things. So later on, it has been seen that the ability to diagnose this will increase along with some information of genomics, which is again a biomedical thing. So what happens today? The solutions are such that you are incorporating more and more technologies, different kind of technologies. For example, computer science along with genomics, which is a hardcore biomedical thing. And in our team also some computer science people are there who are helping to write the specific code that we do not know. Anyway, so what exactly happens is, if there is a kind of good combination of various kinds of thought process, you can eventually generate very good, what you call, innovation, some solution, really a good solution. So one such solution we will do today. We will see how that solution has helped a lot of people, not only in the industry but for the student also, to understand how cancer diagnosis happens. Okay. So to understand that, we also need to understand some biomedical terminology. One such biomedical terminology is called Human Genome Project. उसमें होता क्या है कि all the DNA information, DNA is nothing but a kind of information repository which have information regarding everything in human being. For example, how tall the person will be, what will be the skin color of the person, whether the person will be brown like me or fair like a European, or the person will be having some twisted kind of which kind of eye color. Each and every detail of a human being is written in its gene. Okay, so if we are not deciphering the whole thing, but we have tried and we have till now deciphered many part of the information. Okay, so that information is written in 4 coded language. There's 4 different digits other than the machine digits. In machine, what happens? 0 and 1s are there, but in gene there are 4 different codes, 4 different digits through which you can code. So it becomes more easier to code complex terminology by using DNA information. Okay. So if some biomedical people are there in this gathering, they will remember that DNA is written in 4 codes. These are called A, T, and G and C. 4 different letters: letter A, letter T, letter G, and letter C. So different combinations of A, T, G, C will result into different types of information. So, for example, to code a particular thing, you need to have a very large strings of zeros and ones. But since there are 4 different codes, the string size becomes small. Okay. So anyway, so this is the Human Genome Project database. We will show you a database also. So in that, what has happened? All our genomic information is present. Okay. Now there is a huge scope for computer science and biomedical people to explore that huge device, huge data, and design different kinds of applications by using human genome data. Okay. So we'll share with you a small hands-on, where you will see that how human genome database has been implemented to solve a particular kind of problem. Okay, which has been very well used by the industry as well as by our students to predict what will be the outcome of a particular kind of event. ठीक है, मतलब computer science, what is the main thing of computer science? That it can reduce the number of false positives and false negatives. जैसे कि for example somebody will have a cancer or not, it should not be a fuzzy kind of result. ऐसा अगर होता है के मतलब you want something certain in this kind of prediction. You should have some certainty. So how we can achieve that certainty? By using very good computer science. When you have a lot of background data, which will use it as a training set, and then you anticipate your algorithm is good if you are having a result which is having high efficiency or high fidelity, isn't it? So this tool that we will share with you is a nicely written software, a free software which will tell you how to predict a eventuality, that is whether a person will have a cancer or not, by using computer science. Very simple way, not by image informatics. In image based things you need to have many things. Here only you need to have the information of the DNA. Understood? So it was a nice this thing, what we call innovation, that I wanted to share with you during the hands-on. So what are the other things the teacher should have? The quality of experiments that we are doing. So if you are doing some good experiments, then what will happen? It will help you. It will help us also to find out very good relevant solutions also. So this is also very important. Now this is a classical case of the Italian university. So it has been taken from some other this thing, what we call a report which has been published by Hunter et al. In 2009. So what he observed, that during a particular kind of time period, Italian universities were the best universities in the world. Okay, because as you know, the design thinking process was a fundamental thing in Italian way of life. They are having very good fashion designers, all of you know. They are having very good car manufacturers, isn't it? All of you know. Excellent world-class car manufacturers from Italy, very good design manufacturers, that means fashion accessory manufacturers from Italy. Okay, but that thing did not last. After a certain time period, it has been seen that the design thinking process is having some kind of what we call is coma kind of thing. Alpaviram. It has been halted for some period of time from Italian universities. Okay, I'm talking about like during the Second World War or just after the Second World War. There has been a very good this thing during the Italian universities. Okay, car manufacturers like Fiat, and then excellent what do you call designers from those areas who have been this thing. But later on, there has been some less report of very good designs coming out from Italy. And today also, it is not a very lucrative place for study, isn't it? Unlike US and some other places. So why this thing has happened? So we shall see it that in the initial phase, in quadrant C, everything is stable, isn't it? Internal means the university syllabus, curriculum, everything. External means what? The people, the anticipation of the people, the financial condition of the people, everything. So at the quadrant C, everything is stable. So the university is also doing good because they are answering to the questions people are asking. People means community is asking. So community is also happy, university is also happy. But after a certain time period, it will reach into the quadrant D, where the university curriculum is still static, but outside there is turbulent. That is, the people has become turbulent. Because people's anticipation has changed, their way of thinking, the requirement of the people, everything has changed. But the university is not able to cater to this particular changed scenario. So what has happened? The dotted line, if you see. So the dotted line indicates something which is not anticipated, where there is so much trouble outside, but your university is still static. It is not changing its curriculum, way of thinking, and all sorts of things. But what would be better? It would be better that your internal thing also becomes dynamic. So you enter into the quadrant B, which is anticipating. This is the thing. This is the quadrant you should reach, not the quadrant D. You should reach at quadrant B, where your curriculums has been dynamically changed, all your things has been changed, which kind of faculties are teaching, everything has been changed, and but still the external thing is turbulent. Okay, but later on, after some time period, you will enter into the quadrant A. So since you are being dynamic and you are answering all the queries raised by the community, and therefore now they are also satisfied with your performance, and therefore what has happened, the external thing also becomes stable and you are dynamic as usual. This is the classical case. If you want to, if not on, if including, if we want to what do you call remain relevant, so there should be some dynamic changes that should be there, isn't it? So this was the classical case of this thing. So in our case, what we did is we found out that resource limited setups like mine, I'm very much sure that I belong to an institute which is smaller than all of the institutes, all of you. Nobody belongs to this much smaller institute like mine. Okay, I belong to a very small institute of a northeastern state. But all the participants as well as the institute itself, I think, are having much more resources. Anyway, so what we have found out that if we able to simulate some processes, it becomes easier for ideation. So we have embraced computer science in a huge way, and we have able to do sustainably good. So in 2014, we received some amount of grant to find out why there was a case of some heart-related ailments in certain areas of genetic. It was a genetic disease, and the disease was called Barth syndrome. Eventually, we used our computational tools and so many other things, and we eventually found out the reason for that. And we, although it is small, but we received some amount of grant for deploying some of the tools that we have deployed to find out the reason, not the cure, nothing, only the reason behind the large scale complications of a particular genetic disease, which is called Barth syndrome, and which has something to do with the abnormal function of the heart. Okay. So this has been also a very good this thing for us during 2014. Later on, we have applied these technologies in many ways, and eventually in 2021, we submitted our first intellectual property, which also try to find out what is the impact of some kind of genetic abnormality of proteins, and try to figure out with some evidence what exactly has gone wrong, and is there a possibility with medication we can able to restore with a normal condition. So we are also talking with some this thing MSME, government registered MSME and startups, to once this thing is granted, and we are very much hopeful that it will be granted, and we will able to monetize also from this particular this thing innovation of ours. And we are collaborating with many small scale industries so that you can able to what do you call is this thing what do you call is do the monetizing of the particular discovery. Anyway, so the dynamics of the funding has also been changed, and it has been very challenging for smaller institute like us, where it has been difficult to generate sufficient fund to do constant constant R&D, and therefore we have approached several kinds of collaborations from small industries so that we remain, our lab remains viable. लैब बंद ना करना पड़े, जो एक्सपेरिमेंट हम कर रहे हैं उसको चलाया जा सके, and therefore we have collaborated in large way. In large way means a small way, but in many numbers, so that we can generate some revenue. Anyway, so this has also enabled us to find out some community-based solutions, so that some organizations which are dealing with this particular thing can also collaborate with us. So this was the thing I was talking about the Japanese people. They are talking about innovation in 4 ways. Okay, this is very interesting. So in number 1, they are talking about product innovation type 1, where they are just repackaging the old one. Okay, and then they are trying to sell it. So many a times it becomes this thing, what you call is successful also. Some amount of revenue you can generate. The product innovation type 2, where you are introducing new additional features, value addition. Like as I have given you the example, Bluetooth in a two-wheeler, which is absolutely not very relevant, but since it is there, you will take it. But there is a disadvantage. What happens is many a times to give you the Bluetooth, many a times some other thing has been compromised. So it can also happen. There is also product innovation type 3, where you are developing a completely new solution, but within existing technology. मतलब existing जो technology है उसी को आपने एक different तरीके से use किया. तो in this way also innovation can be done. And the fourth way is the most tough one, where you are developing a completely new technology, and on the basis of the new technology you are developing product. So this kind of innovation is very, very challenging also, and which is also very challenging to bring it out in a small scale setup like institutes and engineering colleges and like this. So anyway, this has been observed by many workers, including the this thing, what do you call this? This particular Shuji et al. 2018, they have reported about it. So in our lab also, we have found out a particular kind of molecule which is having very good effect against this some pathogenic strains. So it can act as a drug, but there were some problems of its stability. मतलब ये है कि ये तो यूजेबल ड्रग है, बट उसका स्टेबिलिटी ठीक नहीं है. मतलब उसका जो शेल्फ लाइफ है, इट इज वेरी लेस. Okay. So as I have said, if you have found out some problem, finding out problem itself is also very big thing. So we have initially there was a much hype that we found out a particular kind of molecule which is very good against some disease-causing organism, which we biomedical scientists we call them pathogens. So disease-causing pathogens we are getting controlled, but the problem was that you cannot make it and you cannot store it for long term. So क्या होगा, if you deploy this technology to some person, they will find it out and they'll isolate it, but later on they cannot able to make it a very good medicine or very good thing which you can put it on the shelf. Because what will happen, the shelf life will be so small, expiry date इतना कम होगा कि कंपनी उसको रखेगा नहीं, मतलब कंपनी उसको बेचने से फायदा नहीं होगा उसको. So in that case, the problem was to enhance the shelf life. So we were all try to find out how we can work on this and try to find out how to establish much more this thing so that the stability increases. Then eventually we worked on it, and not yet completely this thing, but we have found out some new this thing by which we can able to enhance the shelf life. It was also through some kind of limited funding, but some amount of funding we received. So during this process, we eventually spoke with a lot of community people. Okay, so these are the feedback that we received. These are some beneficiaries who have not only worked as they have not only given us the feedback, but also they have become subscribers to the technology that we have developed, to find out a particular kind of therapeutic intervention and then prolonging its activity and then putting it into a business. And eventually we submitted our second patent. And again, also here also we are very much hopeful that it will be granted and we will able to monetize it, although in a small scale, but we will definitely able to do it. Eventually we discussed this about in a particular platform which was been given by IIT Delhi, and we have received certain accolades, and we are also thinking that we eventually get some amount of funding which is needed for deploying some equipments. We are also talking with some beverages companies for monetizing the product. Not only finalized completely, but we are in talk, and talks are in positive way. So recently, one of our part of the team also submitted a part of the idea to one more innovation this thing in IIT Bombay, and we received some accolades. We are anticipating more and more funding. So these are some of the things that we wanted to discuss. And now I'll be going to the hands-on part, where we are using this technology for our teaching, where we are harnessing computer science for biomedical classes. Okay, as I have showed you, we used to teach all those things in a board and later on by using some videos, but later on we found out that we can do some simulation also, which also comes free. So yeah, but using this human genome database. So madam, may I request you to now share your screen? And there were some videos because of the late start. I did not able to show this thing. So madam, if time permits, I would like to request you to show us the videos one by one in mute condition,
Just
so that it becomes a little and our participants do not feel much dizzy, because after lunch sessions are already challenging.
a moment, sir.
Full that some people still okay. Mic to Sadhan. Okay. Okay, so how innovation looks like. So let me tell you here what happens is so let me tell you, there is a in environmental conditions are deteriorating. So what happens? Everybody is looking for some green solutions, isn't it? So they are also using very good innovations to find out some like electric vehicles and all such things. But you should also be amazed to know that the similar kind of innovations is going on in the other group of scientists who are talking about fossil fuel, to find out more and more fossil fuel from the beneath of the earth, so that the cost remains viable. Madam, would you please pause for a minute so that I'll tell you the relevance here. So what happens is, sir, madam, who are still there. So what exactly happens is, innovation is not anybody's this thing. No, anybody can ideate and do innovations. So here in environmental domain, what is going on is one group of people are trying to innovate some green solutions, isn't it? But there are also some innovations going on where they are trying to find out solutions so that the cost of the fossil fuel remains within a particular limit, because more day by day it is becoming more and more rare. So what happens eventually? The cost of this thing, fossil fuel is increasing, isn't it? So they are also trying. Man, it's like a prey predator kind of relationship. जैसे क्या होता है? To tell you in an evolutionary perspective, for example, a deer is running fast. Okay, so behind the deer there is a tiger. So tiger needs to eat it, and the deer needs to sustain his or her life, isn't it? So nature is not partial. Nature is giving the scope of innovation to everybody. The deer is also getting rid of the large horns that it had, because this the large horns are such that it will put it in the life of the deer in danger, because it will get entrapped inside the jungle, and therefore easily the tiger will come and eat him. Okay, so those deer who are having so small horns are getting selected, and therefore they are winning the race, isn't it? The genetic information from this particular kind of strain whose are having small horns are sustained in coming to the next generation, and therefore this thing is going on. On the contrary, those deers whose are having large horns, they are not getting selected and eventually they are getting died. Understood. Similarly, the tiger is also getting evolved. The tiger is also learned to run faster. So this is a prey-predator kind of relationship. One group of scientists are trying to innovate more and more so that electric vehicles and then biofuels and several other things are there. But another group of scientists, what they are doing, we'll see. Okay. So they are also doing innovation. So innovation is kind of thing you can do at any point of view. Your point of view may be different, but the thing is, it should serve some kind of problem. So, madam, please try, play the video now. So they are generating an innovation ecosystem. They are collaborating with universities, individual people, NGOs, and so on, so that they are making an innovation network. Okay. Now, after this innovation and all kinds of things, what kind of results that are coming in? So we shall see. So they have designed a certain kind of vehicle which will explore fossil fuel continuously 24 hours by 7. So usually what has happened previously, there are some drilling machines, this and that, some specialized equipment which will explore where these things are there. So now what they are doing is they are doing it continuously. They are putting a device which is kind of a sonar device in each and every vehicle, each and every ship and all kinds of mobile device. Something which is mobile, they are putting that device everywhere. And so what has happened? They are trying to find out where exactly any last drop of the fossil fuel is there. So whenever some amount of fossil fuel, they'll try to explore it. Getting? So they are doing an innovation in this way so that more and more fossil fuel will be collected. But the amount of fossil fuel is so small, very, very tiny amount of fossil fuel is hidden. So what they are doing, they are pumping brine or salt water, hot salt water, so that the rock is melted. Because what happens, the fossil fuel remains as a tough rock, something like coal tar or more tougher than coal tar. So they are putting a pump there and then flushing all the oil so that it comes out. So this is how, understood, they are trying to produce more and more fossil fuel so that this thing remains viable. This thing, what I call is the technology is the fossil fuel remains viable. Okay. So madam, please play the second video. So this was in the anticipation to make all of us to remember that innovation is for everybody's this thing, nobody else's property, and anyone can do innovation in any respect, isn't it? So madam, please play the next video. I thought to play this video in the initial phase of the discussion, but I was already late. Okay, you did not download it anyway. स्किप कर दीजिए मैडम, स्किप आ गया है, स्किप कर दीजिए। और नहीं है, स्किप कर दीजिए मैडम। ओके madam, this is the third video. Please play the second video, madam, in which the ad was going on. Due to some compatibility issue, I could not share it from my end. Madam, I'm audible?
Sir, this is the only video that has been shared as second and third. Just a moment, let me check another one.
No, I do not. No, I do not think so. there would be total 4 video links, and then the simulation link starts. As I remember, there would have been 4 video links, I guess. देख लीजिए फिर भी.
Thing that I'm having. This is the only thing. I checked it twice. This is the only thing. You want me to share?
Madam, so how many video links are there? एक बार देखिए in the email. The first link you have already played.
Three links are there for video.
Okay. Okay, fine. So what has happened? No, I have to give some this thing. What was the video about? Okay, the first video we have seen. One more was there anyway. So the next one is, as I have said, that how you will determine that what has happened due to a mutation. Okay. So make it in this way so that it becomes relevant for you. So what happens is we'll show you 2 videos. In one video, for example, the COVID virus is such that the COVID virus has become less stable. Less stable means it'll your vaccine will have able to treat that particular virus, because the virus is not it's very fragile. So we are having technologies to find out which protein is fragile and which protein is stable. So what has happened is we can able to simulate that which disease causing entity is more difficult to treat and which disease causing entity is less difficult to treat. Okay, so for that we prepared those videos. Okay, if we play it, you may have some better idea. Although it is a biomedical problem, but the estimations were done by quantum mechanics and using computational tools. So, madam, जैसे कि है आपके पास, तो the last 2 videos, madam, one by one आप चला दीजिए. The second video, if it is there, you please play. That you already played. हाँ, उसको फिर से एक बार चला.
लेना फिर से. Screen share?
No.
Screen is not share, I guess.
Okay. And
Yes.
now, so this is video of a certain virus, okay, which is difficult to treat. Okay, so I shall tell you why it is difficult to treat. Yes, this is the second video where you can see the sticks that are jumping. Also, there is a helix kind of area. Can you able to see? Now, this helix and the stick means that it is getting degraded due to your immunity. Its ability to resist much more. ठीक है, this is the second video. तो पहला वाला first वाला video और चलाइए, मतलब the second video for okay. इसको एक बार चला दीजिए.
So it's one and the same thing. It's the same thing.
Huh?
It's the same thing. The
No,
same
it
video.
won't be the same.
link is there. See, sir, this is the
No.
second one. This is the third
There are
one.
minute changes.
Maybe.
Show once. What is this? What is the name of this? Full screen Brownian and the simulation. From the email. मैं खुद एक बार देख लेता हूँ. Okay, this is the second one, right? What about the first link? No. Okay. Madam, you please please play the first link. The same video. This is the second video. And play the first video. हाँ, सारे विंडोज ऑफ कर दीजिए मैडम यूट्यूब के. नया से शुरू कीजिए. ये तो दूसरा वाला लिंक आपने ये क्लिक किया. हाँ, this is a stable one. Participants, if you are there, you please see that there are sticks as well as some what you call is the helix. Okay, analog telephone में जैसा helix होता था. ये दूसरा वाला वीडियो है. We have seen it. We have spoken. The first link, मतलब the second video. This I understood. One more video link is there. देखिए. हाँ, इसके ऊपर वाला. हाँ, ये वाला कर दीजिए. नहीं, ये वाला नहीं, उसके नीचे वाला. मैडम सारे YouTube विंडोज को एक बार क्लोज कीजिए. हाँ, सारे विंडोज को क्लोज कीजिए. उसके बाद ईमेल में जाइए. हाँ, as you can understand that the objective is to give you a full scale view. So that what we are trying to say. This is the one. Okay, so in this video, participants, please see. This is the structure of a part of the COVID virus. Okay, but COVID virus is also made up of a protein. It is a different protein, but I'm giving you the example of a COVID virus. Okay, as I have said, no, we have generated a peptide which is very good, but the stability is less. Okay, if you can remember. Now this is the peptide where stability is less. So इसलिए क्या होता है, during the coarse grain simulation, Brownian dynamics, we found out the structure of the protein is broken completely. देखा, सिर्फ stick दिख रहा है. देखिए, many sticks, these are jumping. So what does it mean? It means that due to the simulation force field, only the sticks can withstand, which are very, very stable. The rest of the part, nothing is visible here. Isn't it? But in the second video, we modified the protein in such a way it becomes a little more stable. उसमें क्या दिखेगा आपको? एक ribbon भी दिखेगा. So ribbon and stick मिलके एक पूरा protein होता है. Complete protein. How it forms? With a ribbon and a stick. In this one, the ribbons are not visible, isn't it? But in the second video, madam will share with you. So you will see that these things are also there. The stick as well as the ribbon. एक बार दिखा दीजिए मैडम participants को दूसरा वाला लिंक. इसके नीचे वाला, ये वाला तो हमने देख लिया अभी. ये वाला हमने देख लिया है अभी. इसके नीचे वाला बोलना है. इसके नीचे वाला दिखा दीजिए. हाँ, बहुत बढ़िया. So in this one, if you can remember, and if you are still there, participants, you can see the helix. Okay. So this is the secondary structure of a protein, which under stress is getting destroyed, but some amount is still there. So what does it mean? It means that this protein, although same, is having some mutation in that, and therefore it becomes a little more stable. Okay. So we can able to simulate it by calculations, and then we can also generate these snapshot videos. It was initially a 15 picosecond simulation, and we joined one after another simulation, and we produced this whole video. Anyway, thank you, madam, for this coordination. And now, if your participants are still there, we can do a little hands-on where we'll use computer science for prediction of a disease. That also a cancer, the breast cancer. Okay. So, madam, I request you to please share with the participants the simulation link one in the chat box, so that they, if they want, they can also enter into it. Otherwise, you again share your screen after clicking on the simulation link one, which will take all of us to a database which belongs to human genome. Human का जो पूरा genomic data है, we will enter into a database where we will able to see the human genome in a digital form. ठीक है? Madam, will you please share the screen? Thank you, madam. The simulation link one, madam. So this is a database named NCBI, which will give you the whole genome sequence of a bacteria. Here we have not opened a human genome, but a bacteria genome. Bacteria matlab very small, minute thing which is present in air, water, and things like that. The name of the bacteria is Pseudomonas. तो उसका जो DNA है वो comparatively small होता है. So it is easier to load and all. So just to show you that how a genome data looks like. So this is an XML version of the what do you call the bacteria genome data. Okay. So we will not use it. Rather, we will use the second link. Madam, it is just to display that all organisms' genomes has been decoded and it is kept inside a database also. So now we will enter the second link. Yeah. So this is the sequence, or the, shall I say, the data of a particular kind of gene which is called BRCA. BRCA is breast cancer causing antigen. Okay. So what happens is this is the gene which is present in all human, male, female, both. Okay. ऐसा नहीं है कि it is only present in it. This particular gene is present in all human beings. Okay. But it has been seen that if there are some mutations in this particular gene, it causes breast cancer. Okay. I give you some very good examples of this kind of this thing where people have really underwent a genetic screening for find out whether the person is having the tendency to develop breast cancer at certain point of time. For example, Angelina Jolie, which is a famous actress and very talented person, who had a family history of this metastasis. Her aunt and her mother also succumbed to death due to this. So she did not took any chances. She did her whole genome sequencing, and then she find out what is the construction of her gene for this particular antigen, which is called BRCA. So this is the representation of a normal BRCA. जो मतलब in each normal individual is having this kind of sequence only. So here this particular format is called GenPep format, in which so much of information is there. बहुत सारा coding वगैरह बहुत कुछ, isn't it? But this is not very relevant to me, a non-computer individual who is not very much this thing to all these kinds of codes. So what I'll do is I'll convert this format into usable format for me. I only need the sequence, not the whole other things. So what I'll do is I'll convert this sequence into another sequence. Madam, if you go to a little top, you'll see this thing called FASTA, FASTA. ग्रीन कलर में देखिए, ब्लू कलर में फास्टा बोल के होगा, थोड़ा ऊपर चले जाइए. ओके, हाँ थोड़ा ऊपर चलिए. ब्लू कलर दिस थिंग you will find a FASTA. Have you seen it, madam? If you click on it, on the top of the in this window, madam, I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
So, madam, you please go a little top to the this thing page. उसको थोड़ा scroll करके ऊपर चले जाइए. वहाँ faster दिखेगा मैडम आपको. थोड़ा scroll कीजिए पेज को. Oh, the page is static for me. I think.
I think network problem.
हाँ, it can happen. तो ऊपर चले जाने से मैडम फास्ट अगर आ गया है उसको क्लिक कर लीजिए तो ये फॉर्मेट पूरा चेंज हो जाएगा. So what will happen if the participants they can also want to do, they can do. Now this is the genome sequence of the FASTA, the BRCA antigen for all human beings. Okay. So what has happened? Now we'll do the simulation on this. So we'll change the structure of this pattern and try to see what will happen if somebody is having some mutation. Okay. So we'll also try to see how mutation can be simulated. So madam, please now I will request you to share the third link, which is the real simulation toolbox. For me, it is still static. So madam, what I'll do is, if I'm not there, it will be difficult. So I'll rejoin once again. I'll rejoin. दिख नहीं रहा है कुछ. Okay, fine. Thank you, madam. Now this is toolbox which runs on naive Bayes algorithm, which is a probabilistic classifier method. And what it does is it uses a training set, and then on the basis of the training, that is on the basis of the previous incidences, it will try to predict what will be the outcome of a particular kind of situation. Okay. So what we will do is we will go to the window. The BRCA sequence was there. So madam, please go to the window in which the BRCA wild type sequence is there. Madam, go and click on the FASTA link. ऊपर चले जाइए, देखिए ग्रीन कलर में FASTA होगा. नहीं, इसमें नहीं, वो वाला. हाँ, FASTA में क्लिक कीजिए. हाँ. ओके. यहाँ पे जो है, now this is the sequence of the normal BRCA. ऊपर ही. So this is the sequence of this thing, what you call BRCA. Okay. So madam, do not click anywhere. You just select the whole thing from the greater than sign. वो greater than sign से कीजिएगा, पूरा एकदम copy कर लीजिए. So we'll try to figure out to use particular this thing technology that Harvard have developed, Harvard Genetics. पूरा link कीजिए madam. Please copy the whole link, madam. The whole thing, madam. The whole after the up to the digit K. पूरा. No, the whole thing. Copy. वो वाला विंडो में चले जाइए, टूलबॉक्स. Fine. So go to the toolbox, madam. नो टूल बॉक्स अभी जो हमने ओपन किया था हार्वर्ड जीनोमिक्स का. नो हाँ दिस हाँ फाइन. सो यहाँ पे मैडम देखिए सेकंड वाला जो विंडो है प्रोटीन सीक्वेंसिंग फास्ट था, यहाँ पे पेस्ट कर दीजिए. हाँ बहुत बढ़िया. Oh, so okay. So what we are trying to do is this particular tool has been developed by Harvard Genetics Department to simulate cancer diagnostics by using a probabilistic classifier method and using a particular kind of database which houses a lot of data about various kinds of abnormalities in human gene. Okay, so they will use that background data to find out what will be the cause of any kind of change in the particular kind of this particular sequence. Okay. So what has happened is in a particular case, let us see what are the letters that are present in the normal BRCA. So if the participants, they can see the first letter of this particular sequence or particular code. This particular code is for a BRCA, which is a cancer causing antigen. Okay? Breast cancer causing. So we will go to the fifth amino acid. Let us say LTKDRM. Isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth amino acid is M. तो ये तो नॉर्मल इंडिविजुअल में रहता है. तो हम क्या करेंगे, उसको चेंज कर देंगे. चेंज करके एक म्यूटेशन को सिमुलेट करने का कोशिश करेंगे. देखेंगे अगर ये म्यूटेशन होता है तो उसका रिजल्ट क्या होता है. प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड दैट इट इज नॉट a simple text editor. The background information is based on the data of many clinical trials where a number of study has been done on the genetic relationship of various kinds of cancer. Okay, so a huge clinical task is there in the background. Okay, it looks simple text only in a particular format, but it is not only text mining kind of thing. Okay, it's a bigger thing than this. So what we'll do is we'll do the simulation now. So we'll come to the next window, which is for position window. In that position, we'll put the digit 6. Madam, please share.
Okay, sir.
If you can share the screen, madam.
So I'm unable to do it. And sorry to say, sir, we are running out of time now.
Okay, absolutely no problem. We have come to the end of the thing. Anyway, if you insist, so we would have been able to show you that how the simulation works and eventually finds out from a remote place what will be the event, how it eventually leads to some kind of cancer or not. In a graphically graphical representation, if we change the particular event, what will be the outcome of it? I tried to simulate it. I have given this particular session not less than 20 to 30 these things, FDPs, and there has been many this thing that I was able to explain that what exactly goes in this particular technology. Anyway, so this would be the end of my this thing. I wanted to explore and share with you regarding my experience and how we embrace computer science in our case by using tools that are there, and we are also trying to explore this opportunity to use computer science in biomedical devices and technologies to explore many more usable solutions that can be possibly done with it. So here also we had developed a certain process. We have eventually submitted our this thing for patents, and we anticipate that in coming days we will able to collaborate more and eventually generate more valuable work. So by saying so, I would like to conclude. If there were some doubts, I would have been happy to answer them. So since time is limited, now it is up to you, madam. If you see, there are scope, you can
Participants,
take
if you
some
have any
questions.
queries, please let us know. Please ask. Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you for spending your valuable time with us. Thank you for sharing such a valuable information with us. We'll surely get back to you, sir, in future for future end of years. Thank you so much, sir. Dear participants, we'll meet tomorrow sharp at 9:30 am.